Hi everyone, sorry about the hat. Just jumped out the shower. My head's all over the place. And didn't want to frighten you, so I've got this stupid thing. But anyway, good evening. I hope you are all well, especially after yesterday and the last minute winner. But it still doesn't, I don't know, it still doesn't resonate with me that we were great. And I watched it again today. I watched the full match again, and we were all right in spasms. And when we scored, it was individual. A great pass from Cody to Mo. What did Mo do? Went right in, bang, goal. And then the last minute on Verge. But I was made up. We won, absolutely delighted. I didn't like the tactics out of Everton, I must be honest. Because when you're doing a watch along, you're watching the game, but I'm also watching the comments and trying to read them out, so missing stuff. And some of their tactics were shocking. What I mean is that they tried to get players booked. That's wrong. That belongs in the past. That belongs on the continent somewhere. Really trying to get our players booked. So what does that tell you? And I was really disappointed in them. Everton, that is. But I'm absolutely delighted what we did. What I mean by what we did was the win, because that'll go down in history now as the very first derby game at a new stadium, and the away team beat them. That is, Liverpool beat them in the very first derby game. I was made up with that. But overall, we weren't outstanding, were we? It was just pockets and individual brilliance. The header by Virgil, bang, get in. The brilliant goal by Mo, the way he ran, that pass was unbelievable. And they weren't tactics or anything. That wasn't the pattern of play at all. It was just good football. Just good football between our lads to get that first in. Then, as you know, the usual tactics came in and they scored the second half. Terrible defending. But then you're getting lads saying about Curtis Jones. I've been looking at comments, not on here, but on others, and get rid of him. Curtis Jones was one of the man of the match yesterday. So I just don't understand some of our fans. And I'm telling you now, we need a scouser in our team. I go right back to the Shankly days. We've always had scousers in the team, always, because they've got a scouse mentality. I'm not, as I said, I embrace all our fans wherever they come from. Wherever they come from, we've got Manchester fans, believe it or not. I embrace them. I embrace Americans. I embrace everybody. Fans, Liverpool, African, everyone. I embrace. But they really don't know the scouse mentality. That's the problem. And neither does this fella Slot. He hasn't a clue about the mentality of us Liverpool people, the Scousers. He doesn't even fucking live here. He lives in Manchester. I've mentioned this before, and I keep mentioning it. I was looking at Jurgen Klopp, and he was in an interview, whatever, and he used to go out of an evening, he said, getting the feel of the place around Liverpool. That's what you call a man who embraces the city, just like Bill Shankly did. But you can't have a coach, whatever he is, a crap coach at that, coming to Liverpool to coach Liverpool and live in Manchester. What's that all about? And that really annoys me. I don't know about you, but it certainly really annoys me. Evening all, Canate staying then? Well, we'll see if he is. You know, you shouldn't take too much notice, to be honest. And who are we going to get if he goes, Daryl? You'll know that you've got to understand that we'd have to pay a lot of money for these centre-backs today. You've got to pay a lot of money. Know what I mean? And especially with Liverpool coming in, the price is double. And I messaged you before, didn't I? I said about Canate under a new manager. Look, how many fucking players, and this really pisses me off, how many players have underperformed this season? How many? Not just Canate. Not just them. Look at Mo Salah. The year before, he was a golden boot and records assist holder. This season, look at Virgil. You know, people are having a go at him, yet Virgil, if you think that he hasn't been playing well, that he hasn't been at his best, whose fault is that? And if you look at the statistics, in aerial duels, he's way out on top. Way out in the lead. Anyway. Like and subscribe, please, says the TW. I'd say thank you for that. Thank you. I just really need, I don't know. Dennis Papa, good job I said I embrace our Americans. Because Dennis is from Tampa. But he goes to game when he comes over, by the way. He's a big net, and he's in a band called The Incurables. And he's playing at the Cavern. So you need to get down there at the end of May. Good evening, Dennis, mate. Good to see you. And the Polo. Hi, Frank. Hope you're well. I've been there. I don't know. I've been having I don't know whether the nightmares. I just don't know. I'm still in pain, unfortunately. And the Bush Baptists. Hiya, Frank. Good to see you. Good to see you as well. Really is, Bush. Good lad. And Dennis says, still feels off. But we did have a great time hanging out with David James on, was he there? On Saturday night. And thousands of football fans in Tampa on Saturday and Sunday. It was a great event. That's good, that. And obviously you watched the game. David James, eh? I wonder what he thought about goalie. Third choice. I thought he was as well there, wouldn't I, to be honest, when he came on, especially the little leather over there, the Everton player, and then just throwing us out. Brilliant. Not throwing us out, but just kicking us over. Barry Aldridge, even a Frank and everyone. Hope you're all well. Yes. Thank you, Barry. Good to see you, mate. And Polo says, you're right, Frank. Nothing changes. Alonso must take over And midfield needs pace, power, wisdom. Yes. That's a great shout, though. That really is. Good shout. That's what we're lacking. But I think under a new manager, the likes of Xabi, he give everybody a lift. He knows football. He knows the city, by the way. I think two of his little children were born here, by the way. So he knows the city. His wife will come over as well. His family will come over, unlike Slots. And he won't be living in Manchester. Some fella come on and he said, what you want him to do? Do you want him to pitch a tent in Stanley Park? Yeah, pitch a tent there. He's a fucking disgrace. That annoys me. That really annoys me, not living here. And Steve Malala, my old mate. Salah pushing Verts to applaud the fans and Slot just clapping and then adds his arms for yes. Yeah. He just I seen it was at PSG and he goes over and you know that there's no sound coming from his claps. You know that. Look at the difference between the Eggman and Klopp. Look at the difference after games. After games. Klopp went right over to the fans and did the fist pumps. This fella has an... But you're right there, Steve. Arms folded. I can't get over the Galatasaray game when he was all animated. And I said at the time, that's scripted. He's been told to do that. That is a scripted thing. You've got to show some animation on the touchline, because what did he do? Every game, he just stood there with his hands in his pockets and did a little wave now and again, That's all he did. Nothing out of the man. He doesn't give a toss about you or me or anyone else, him. The old mate, Paul Bear. Good evening, Frank and chat. We won, but that's about... Thank you. It is. Sums us up nicely. That's about it. Another bit. Stay ever. The Scouts Peaky Blinds are back again. Stay. I have to wear this. You want to see the stupid heads on me? As I said, I just got a shower and jumped out, dried my hair, and it was all over the place. All over the place. Blimey, my knees are going now. Steve Mulholland. Congrats to the ref yesterday. He could have booked more players and could have produced an early red card. I tell you what, the foul on Jones should have been a red. I said it on the pod today. Yesterday. I said, that's a red, though. And when I was watching the game, even the commentator, look at my knees gone. Oh, Jesus. Even the commentator said as well, that's a red card, though. Because it was a late challenge, high up. Well, all his confidence is shattered. Whose confidence? Joseph? Yusuf? Who's? Mine? Oh, do you mean Mo? Mo's been treated solidly. He really has. He's gone through a torrid time. And when he scored that goal, you could see the delight in him to the fans. And Brian, Hiya, Brian. Ah, Frank, come on. Our Arnie is fucking brilliant. He has to stay. Leave him alone. Good job, I know you, Brian. And Barry says, I thought, honestly, I thought Jonesy played well. He did. I thought he was great. He stopped the lads when it was still 1-1, or was it 2-2? Sorry. What score was it? It was 1-1, and he stopped him from going through. He stopped him right inside the area as well, and came away with the ball. That lads was a scored. I think it was that Shrewsbury, whatever his name is. Yeah, I thought Jonesy plays well, especially as he was out of position. He drove forward in the second half, almost saying, sod this. I'm going, do you know what? If you said that about other players as well, I've said it in the past about, our lads saying, fuck this, we can play our own thing, fuck his tactics. And that was when we played Newcastle, if you remember, when we went 1-0 down to that Anthony Gordon goal. And all of a sudden, we just picked up. And it wasn't through tactics or anything. It was our plays. That's what kept us going this season. And Brian, good evening, mate. Hope you're well. And everyone, you'll never walk alone. All right, Brian. Polo. Slot has a good personality. Haughty, detached. You wouldn't fucking think so. And Steve says, Steve Evo, Klopp used to watch grassroots footy while walking his dog. Miss him, mate. Yeah, we all miss him. We all miss him. And you know who got rid of him? It wasn't himself. You know the plan, don't you? You know what the plan was to get rid of him. And Steve Mulholland, Grav was off. He's terrible, him. He is woeful. And he's on what? 280 a week. If anyone's being sold, it should be him. I was listening to a pod today, and I've never mentioned his name, but he's such a fucking flip-flopper. He's incredible. I remember him playing when we were playing PSG, and he said, these two games is so important for Slot. So very important, he said. About his tenure, in all honesty, he's saying. And what did we do? Got fucking beat. 4-0 on aggregate. Weren't in the game. And now we won yesterday. And we weren't that great, were we? Come on. Fucking hell. We weren't that good. We had a few moments, as I said. And a few, a couple of individual brilliance from the Veg. Two of the stalwarts, by the way. The Veg and Mo. That won us the game. And good defending by Jones, as I said. God knows what would have happened if that lad would have gone through. Dewsbury Hall, is it? Someone like him. And he stopped him. And came away with the ball. That lad would have gone on and scored. God knows what would have happened then. And Youssef says, The whole squad, bar Szoboszlai and Rio, have underperformed. Jones hardly gets a game, so I'll disagree there. I'll disagree with you, Youssef, because Jones does come in and give a fucking game when he does play. Virgil, as I mentioned, Virgil, he's the leading aerial dueler in the whole of the Prem. So you can't say he's been underperforming, really. Disagree there, Youssef, mate, honestly. Well, it's just all opinions, as I said. We can't go on it. When I say to Franco and Chatters, I'm still laughing at Pickford having a tantrum after Virgil's. Yeah. That Beto, he got a big black eyes, didn't he? A terrible lump on his eye. But he buttered. When you see it again, he actually buttered Konate, Big Ibu. Went like that. Came up like that. Went soft. And Barry says, I just like Pickford greatly after what he did to Verge. He's a scumbag. Yes, he is. And did you notice the way, I forget who was going through, I think it was Gapco. Gapco plays well yesterday, by the way. The Gap, Cozy, especially for that assist as well. And he has a great shot. That little arm saved. But anyway, he came out towards Gapco. And that was he always runs outside his area. Have you noticed? That's what he's like, Pickford. Fuck him anyway. Fuck him. And Bush Baptist. Apparently, we got Alisson back for the Man U game. Is that right? Or have I heard misinformation? Don't know. I don't know. Be good if he is back. Stay. Frank, I thought Woodman did really well, and his distribution was very good. It was actually. It was made up at the lot. And Brian, McAllister, Gravenberch in midfield still don't do it for me, lads. Even under a new boss. That Gravenberch, I think he's awful. I really do. I don't like picking on players, but, you've got to give players the due that deserve some credit. But that Gravenberch is terrible. Absolutely. See, when there's like corners and free kicks and you get a player going up and it goes wide or anything up in the air and, terrible headers, I call them Tripney bit heads. He's got a Tripney bit foot. Or for our younger lads and girls, 50 pence foot. Because he can't book and pass. Gary, love the cap, Frank. I've got one like that. Brilliant result yesterday. Town was full of bitter blues today. Oh. Cedric, are you Cedric? Big up legends with the iconic hats. Thank you. Hope you're well, chat. And that nice. Hiya, Cedric. Good to see you. Really is. Genuine, that. I like our chatters anyway. I think they're great. Lindsay Ellis. Even in Franklin's, all the Reds. Good game yesterday. Be interesting to see the next game. Yeah, it will. And the polo. You're right, Frank. Slot not living here. Snobby attitude. Bet Slot has bigoted views on the people. But to be honest, I don't know about. He doesn't know us unless he's read about us. Because what you've got. We've always had terrible press. We really have. Terrible, terrible press. And that terrible press reverberates around. I don't think he's ever. He might have walked around the city and gone, "Oh, fuck that, I'm not living here." Because he's on his own. His wife doesn't want him to come here. He's on his own. So why doesn't he live in Liverpool? He wants to be near an airport. I'm sure we've got an airport here somewhere in Liverpool. I'm sure of it. And it's named after an iconic person. I think if you know John Lennon. Why doesn't he fucking live there? Prick. So it wouldn't surprise me. And that is a snobby attitude, by the way. And little Lynn. Can all use caps to help Frank? Thank you. Thank you, Lynn. And Gary. Should see the head on me, Frank. I haven't got any hair and I'm a bit younger than you. I bet you've got more teeth than me, though. And I hope you've got it. I hope everyone, never mind just me, I hope everyone has got a dentist, through the NHS. I haven't. And that tooth is going to cost me 1,200 quid to get fixed. 1,200 quid. And I don't know whether it's inflation or not. This tooth here, this one here, with the hospital, when I had that up that time, whatever they throwing them out because I was dead. I was dying through this thing in my mouth. When he was operating, emergency op. But little did I know, it loosened the root. And after a few months, it started to become looser, and I didn't know at the time. Then it was very loose. And then finally, it just fell out. So I went to the dentist and it cost me 660 quid to get fixed. Plus a 50 odd pound consultation. So that was like 700 quid plus. So I thought it'll be the same. Double. For a smaller tooth. So I'm telling you now, if you haven't got an NHS dentist, you never know what happens. Because I've always said we take things for granted. You never know what happens. So get yourself a dentist through the NHS if you're lucky enough, because I phoned everywhere when this first tooth came out. I should have sued the hospital, but I was told to sue the hospital for doing it. No, I said they saved me life. Our little NHS. And Yusuf says, what happened to the tight on the trophies confidence? Was adamant they were going to beat us. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen them. Didn't know all the Beatles were blues, says Brian. No, fuck. I don't know where these people get this. Never seen them at a fucking match. Can't say that. James Bonds are there. Well, he's gone now, but James Bonds are there. That. So was that big Irish fella, Liam Neeson. And Cedric says, Woodman goalie for a few weeks since Mama's out, yeah. Do we? No. Do we buy another one? I don't know. I really don't know. I think Mama Dash is back though. He's had two or four, I don't know, it's 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. But you just don't know, do we? I'll tell you who's a good goalkeeper. I'll never say it. I forget who he plays for. I was watching him one night. And I said, that's our goalie, that. You know, the way you're going through things. I said, that's our goalie. And it was Soros. Not Soros. What's his name? You know, the lad. Sounds like Soros. I said, he's good. I should have seen the saves he was making. Flying everywhere. Brilliant. Anyway, Brian says, watch Van Bronckhorst behind Slot yesterday. Barely blinked. Just when you were talking about Slot's emotions. It's awful, lads. Yeah. Yeah. Well, his laptop, Broncos laptop, does more blinking than him. It's got more animated as well. I always remember one of the lads said, sack Broncos and leave the laptop. Even if Frank and everyone says, Phil, are you, Phil? Are you, mate? Frank, who was that journalist, David Lynch Doyle? Hang on. Frank, who was that journalist, David Lynch Doyle, Pierce? They hate Scousers, all live in Wirral. Notice that, yeah? Well, one of them, I'm saying, one of them is the most he thinks he thinks that Slot's all right now because of the fucking win yesterday. One of them. I was watching them. But some fellas had to go at him, you know, in the comments. One fella just says, the other fucking week he was fucking, which he was. And now, because of a fucking late winner, that's all right. And we played awful. So they get found out. And the lad carries on by saying you're terrified to lose your fucking pass into their press conferences and the press dugout. Jones his game is 3 times the player than Wirtz. Yep. But then again, you know, if a new manager case, let's say Xabi, he'd get the best out of the fucking lot of them. I'm telling you. You've got to ask yourself this as well. Any players that Slaughter's brought through, that is great. Everyone has dipped. Their ability is dipped. And someone says, what about Rio? Never fucking plays him, but young Rio. He's a kid. He's got natural ability. He done nothing yesterday. You know, he has a chance there, blazed it over the bar, but you can't blame him for that. But putting him in that derby game, and Brian says 2 keepers, 3 right backs, 2 forwards, made of glass, boys, all have to be replaced. Hugo has to learn to walk again. It's that bad. Never be the same. Yes, Brian. Yeah. Shame about him. He was a rebel in that yesterday. You're right, Frank, about Gravenberch. Doesn't seem to have the fight to wear the shirt. He's a winner, but he would suit London. But he doesn't suit you. That's just my opinion, and your opinion, by the way. I don't think he's... I really don't. I really don't, Bush, mate. Frank, Slot never brought his family to Liverpool because he knows in his own head it wouldn't last. I said that. I tried to make an excuse. When he was offered the job, I said his wife must have said, well, I'm not uprooting because you're going to you won't last long there. That's what I said. I said that last year, actually, last season. But isn't it the Stambourne airport, right? Stambourne International Airport. And Yusuf says dentists are... You wouldn't cocoa. It's fucking shocking. It really is. And Dennis to the Bush. I thought the airport was named after Ron Nasty of the Ruttles. I remember them. Remember them, the Ruttles? Big up, Cedric. That's lovely, though. What's that? It was the Tifo flight. I knew their Reds, the Toffees trying to claim them. What's that? What the fuck's that? I can't fucking see. You don't know, Brian, I've got fucking cataracts and fucking letters. I don't know, I can't understand that. Tifo, I don't know. It was the Tifo flight. I know their Reds, the Toffees trying to claim them. I haven't a clue what you're talking about, honestly. Mr. B. Good evening, Frank. Good evening, Mr. B. Hope you're well. Get Mike Hooper back or Big Steve or Grizovich. Remember him? Remember him? Okay, now. And that Mike Hooper. I remember a goalie named Jim Furnell and Bert Slater. Bert Slater was the littlest goalkeeper on the planet. Under the shanks. And Jim Furnell was fucking awful until Tommy Lawrence came along. Did you see the video of the team in the dressing room after the game? Atmosphere looked like a doctor's waiting room. No, never seen it. Was that bad, was it? It's the coach, mate. Then I saw John Bishop was at Carragher's pub in New York City for the match. My mate Brian is a gaffer there and posted a pic. Well, you should have said, well, I tell you, mate, if he's on there again, to mention me to him. Because in his shows, believe it or not, he always mentions me, John Bishop. True that, Dennis. Yes, Phil, not much smiling there, though. Yeah, says Cedric. It's shocking, though, isn't it? You know, to go into a dressing room, having just won, beating your closest rivals, and a dentist fucking waiting room. Mr. B. Remember, Jones feel like he's got something to prove. Vert, Isak have heavy price tags. Remember, we had Carroll and Charlie had him. Be careful what you wish for, fellow Reds. Good shout, that. Good shout. We demand, say, look, we're a local club. We're a local club at Scouse. Liverpool is Scouse. And we've always had Scousers in the team. Always. And this fucking prick wants to get rid of the only decent Scouser there. Not on their fucking Annie. I think Curtis, under a new manager, should be played as our number 10 for the full season. No brainer, says Brian. Slot knows he's gone. Yeah, he does. He does. I was talking to our Francine today. She phoned me up. And she said, Dad, do you think Mo will stay? I said, well, the only way that he'll stay is by signing another contract. But he won't get any money. Whereas he can go to another club and demand, you know, multi-millions to sign on. He'll be his own agent. He'll be on this and that. And if he wants to, if a club wants to sign him, they will have to pay a huge amount. And these fans who wanted him gone right through the season, I can't believe it, you know, for what he's done. Short memories, these people. Short memories. I'm usually gutted when the season ends. This year, I can't wait to end. This dross, says the T. Get these Dutch coaches gone. Get Alonso in and start again. And Dennis said, you've got it, Frank. Will do. Thank you, dear Dennis. Tell your mate. See, I was on a thing. He knows me, you see. And I was on a thing, and I gave him the surprise of his life. It was like, who do you think you are? It was a BBC thing, you know, so I did his past. And I was talking about his granddad, Charles Bishop, who, believe it or not, was he was a, a comedian. But I'm going back into the 1800s and into the 20th century. And it was funny. And I was telling them all about it. And I was laughing his head off. When they're surprised by people who, you know, just come and see them. And who do you think you are? They haven't a clue who's coming up. And I walked down Lime Street, and you see me walking. Where the fucking camera was, I haven't a clue. So anyway, you see me walking, and Bishop's just there, and I went, all right, John. And he said, fucking, they cut that out. So what are you doing here? He said, I'm waiting for, I said, it's me. He said, get out of it. I said, yeah. True enough. Who do you think you are? Evening TW, says Barry. I agree. I want this season to end. Sir. I just hope Xabi is still that scout Klopp pride. Of course he is. I've said it, Barry. He knows the city. As it says, I think it was two little children that was born here. And his wife loved it here as well, by the way. And Mr. B. When your coach plays his best player at right back, yes, you have a young Ramsey warm on the bench. Proper head scratching moment. He doesn't like the kids. It's proved by, look what he's done to little Rio. Look what he's done to him. Never played him when he needs to be played. Then he brought him on in the derby. And, the young kids, I think he was overwhelmed, to be honest, by the, that crowd was right on him, weren't they? Yes, Barry, we really need the feel-good factor back, says the T. Yes. Yes, T. Mo and Verge know what a derby means. Who shows up when they leave? Exactly. Good shout, that. Does anyone notice as well when? Excuse me, I've got an itch. Does anyone notice too? Just hang on a sec. Okay, now. Does anyone notice too about when young Rio came on? Did you notice Mo going right over to him, talking to him and smacking his thing, doing that? He could have been saying, watch out for the fucking clattering, because that's what they were doing. They were clattering. Did you remember when McAllister came on and he done, for the ball was over on the far side? And there was no fucking foul and all. They got a foul. Yeah, it was McAllister who got fucking kicked. Does anyone notice that? They claim for everything, didn't they? The little blue boys. Seeing the footage of the squads in the changing room, they actually found out we won and kept him in a job for another week. What a cracker, that. That's a cracker, that. And Barry says, I have high hopes for Leone and Isak under the Xabi influence. If we have a strong defence, the new additions will push us on next season. Well, he knows how to play Wirtz, doesn't he? Don't forget he was his manager at Leverkusen. And Frimpong. And Phil says, Frank, Arsenal might have blown it. My missus doesn't take much notice of footy, but to my surprise, I sang, as I sang, he shot, he missed, he must be bloody pissed. She shouted out, Charlie George, Charlie George. Oh, do you remember that? I was at Wembley there, mate, when Charlie scored the winner. After the other fella, Stevie Highway, putting us in the lead. I thought we was going to go on and win it. Here's MI6 just joins us. The vlogs. Hello, Frank. How's it going, mate? It's going all right. Can I just mention, if you haven't liked or subscribed, would you please like and subscribe? Just to get the algorithm up there, for this YouTube thing. Please. I'm trying to get to 2,000 or 2K, as they say, subscribers. And I've just got to mention these wonderful lads for their sponsoring all the Frank Carlyle podcasts. The fully time served, the fully insured. If you know anybody who works for the NHS and are wanting to decorate their house, tell them to get onto Gap Painting Services. Or if you know any elderly who needs the homes doing, tell them about Gap Painting Services, because those two groups, the NHS and the elderly, get special discounts. And the first class, they're in and out. They provide references as well. References. That's Gap Painting Services, who sponsor every single one of my podcasts. And also, if you go on the next home game, get down to Michelle and Michael Dean's at Scarf or a Badge for fantastic quality stuff. They really are, and they're good people. They open up on match days and go in there. Honestly, they've got everything, right up to a badge, a Liverpool badge. That's that Scarf or a Badge, and they will look after you. If you can't get up and see them, go online. Just go online. That's scarforabadge.com. They're really good. They're good people. Small business. We've got to support our small businesses. We really have. And Dennis, smash the like button, folks. Thank you, Dennis. All the way from Tampa. Thanks, Dennis. And Lisa, the vlogs, that is, MI6. Just can't wait to get to the end of the season. So now, Frank, get this idiot out and move on and build up the mess he has made, which now could take another full bloody season to whom takes over. Yeah. And he carries on, takes over the workload this idiot is causing for the future is outstanding. It's astonishing. Wooden Coco. And Brian, thanks for that, Frank. I've been searching for a decorator for a while. But they're not going to go over to Ireland, are they? Oh, gee, you never know. Could borrow a dinghy, but he'd have to go down to Kent, wouldn't he, to borrow a dinghy? Or Sussex. Loads of dinghies down there. Can you talk the Gap guys into coming to Tampa? They'd love that. But you'd have to clear up those alligators first, tennis. My townhouse could use a paint job, and I'm sure they won't mind some Tampa sunshine. Search is searching. Okay, now. Oh, do you know what? I'm sitting on the worst fucking chair possible. I've had this for years, this chair. Creaking and everything. Oh. Anyway. So I've got a change in my pods, actually. I'm doing more football. I'm doing more conspiracy theories as well. I've got a cracker lined up, no two. But that's during the week. So I'll be doing more football. Frank, still a job to be done, especially if we want to attract the best players. You sit down. I can't fucking see, you see. Phil, yeah. No, you're right, Phil. Frank still needs a job to be done, Champions League, especially if we want to attract the best people. That's right, because, you know, we're being mentioned with everybody, aren't we? You know, all these, like, podcasters, you know, get the lads to do, they come out and say, but fucking hell, we might as well just buy the whole of the fucking planet of footballers. We need him, we need that, oh, we're going after him, we're linked with everybody. That's why I've always said I will take no fucking notice. Really, I'll take no fucking notice until I see a player sitting at the AXA or at Anfield signing a thing with a big smile on his face, then holding up a shirt at Anfield, on the pitch at Anfield. That's when it's the only time, because we get... I'll never forget that Bellingham, and one particular fella on a podcast was saying, take no notice, he's coming here. You know, when Real Madrid were going out in for him. Well, I knew fucking better, because he was going to Real Madrid. And that's where he ended up. And the vlogs. Whereabouts is this at? Or scarf, Frank? It's by... do you know what? I'll tell you where it's by. It's by the Cabbage. And you know that church? I forget the name of the church. If you go to Cabbage, then you walk up a road. Oh. Anyway, it's by the Cabbage. Anyone will tell you where it is if you get by the Cabbage. And that church, especially the church, it's right facing the church. Like, honestly, it's a great shop. Really lovely couple. Just a small business. And the Reds, because they go to game. It's right. The only open ones, eh? And if you go online to the @scarforabadge.com, yeah, look. @scarforabadge.com. Just go on that, Lee. Soon tell you where they are. And they are open on match days. And Zenna says, I'll promise to keep the Gators at bay. Honestly, where he lives, alligators roam around. Alligators. That's why I'd never go and visit him. Come over, Frank. Yeah, be a fucking minute. But he knows me anyway. Does tennis. And Barry says, the vlogs may be right, but I'm impatient and want to hit the ground running when Xabi takes over, says Barry. Yes. He will, honestly. He will. And Brian says, I'm thinking Edwards and Hughes and the Bournemouth connection. Areola. Yeah, that's what he fucking wants. The fans won't have it. The fans will not have it. I've got nothing against Areola, but we've had a fuck enough of Hughes and his suggestions and his mate. Slot was his mate. Have you already covered the Flat Earth conspiracy, says Mr. Big? No. See, the way I look at conspiracies, I've got 2 lines up this week. The Flat Earth, you've only got to go up to the moon, towards the moon, and look down. You've only got to look at the shuttle and the pictures coming from the shuttle live. That dismisses the Flat Earth. Give you another clue as well. You know, the Titanic. I'll have to, hang on a minute. I'll have to do it like this, you see. The Titanic. You've got the Titanic there, yeah? Let's see this. Just bear with me. And there was the Titanic there, and there was messages getting sent. And this is why they had to send rockets up. Because here, you had a ship, the California. And the messages weren't coming through. Do you know why? Because that was here. Where am I? Here, lower down the earth, the rounded, and no signals. You know where it's round. I wish I had something round. Yeah, let's see. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, now I get it. Look. See that? The Titanic here. This is the Earth, by the way. The Titanic there. And when you go around, you had the California and other ships there. And they weren't receiving the signals from here, the Titanic. It was just going straight. Oh, for fuck's sake. It was just going straight across. Right across there. Because it wasn't going up there, up here. And that's why they had to send up to stress signals. And they were sending out a new codes as well. The new codes was SOS. That was a brand new code at the time. So the Flat Earth thing, sorry, hang on a minute, I've just got to put these in the right place. The Flat Earth thing is it's been disproved, you know, the Flat Earthers. It's the way it is, you know. People believe in the Flat Earth. I don't. I just see what I see. There's still only 7 days in the week, Frank. if you're going to increase your streams, says Barry. Now I'm going to do more football. I haven't heard from Anthony. I haven't heard from him. So I've stopped the history, but I will do history anyway. I will do it, like on special occasions. I really want to talk about a couple of characters that are very important for Liverpool and very important for the world, by the way. Very important what they gave us. And Phil says, Frank, when you said about changing the format of your pods, I thought you were going to make it a prerequisite to wear a cap to be able to comment better than a tip format. I like that. I'm doing a thing on UFOs, by the way. I'm actually doing one on UFOs, or UAPs as they're called. What our team change under Slot? Hang on. What's our team change under the new manager is a massive positive way. Yes. Yes. But you get fans who take notice of other. I'm not saying, take fucking notice of me by any means. But, they take it as, it's right, of other pods, and they're talking bollocks. Sorry to say that, but they are. You can fucking tell. They don't mention you lot. What I mean is, like I've seen comments going through. They never get mentioned, the comments. Because they come out with some whoppers, great comments. And they never mention them unless you pay. And I think it's wrong. I won't not enough nobody, me. I just read them out. Like Brian there, Shankly said, Earth was round. It's round. Absolutely. And the polar bear, a polar. Flat Earth is nonsense. Discredit. Real conspiracy theory to discredit. Yes. That's a cracker, that. That's a cracker, that. And then it says, when I attended the Titanic exhibition here a few weeks back, they had one room where you can hear the Morse code transmissions with the text projected on the screen. Pretty moving, yeah. They're saying 1,300 perished, didn't they? Didn't they? On the Titanic. But it just ran right into an iceberg. Massive it was. But there's a conspiracy theory, and it's a brilliant conspiracy. Got it here. I've just showed. No. Let me show you this. I'd love to play it, I'd love to show you all this. Just bear with me on this. I'll show you something. Can you read that? Why they sank her why they sank her DVD. I want to see it. And talk about conspiracy theories. Whoa. It's incredible. I'd love to show you it, but I can't. Because I'm not that clever. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, just bear with me on this. Poet says, I think that the church is called Holy Trinity used to go to the little library next door in the 70s. I think that church is called Holy Trinity. Used to go to the little library next door. No, there's not a library there. I'll tell you what's facing the church, a pub. Forget the name of it. I don't. There's a pub facing the church. And it's not the cabbage. The cabbage is on further on the main road there. And Brian, Frank, does any of the viewers see the drones in Belfast docks? There was thousands, and they made it the size of the Titanic, all lit up at night. Unreal it was. No. Never seen it, Brian. Poet. I've done James Larkin. Done him. I'll do him again if you ever want me to, Poet. Great man. Now, I know you're a poet. And have you ever heard of Arthur Clough and his sister Anne? What they did? They lived in Rodney Street. The house is still there, by the way. It's like a museum. Brilliant. Arthur Clough and his sister Anne, what they did for the country. Well, especially Anne. Arthur was a poet. Love it, Phil. Love it. Mark Twain, it's easier to fool people than to convince them they have been fooled. It's so that's a great quote by the great man himself, Mark Twain. He's come out with some great quotes to Twain. As you said about, it's easy to convince. And Barry says, when I called on you a while ago, Frank, those UFOs we looked at were incredible. So I'm looking forward to that stream. Oh, is that the one I filmed? Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I always shot at that thing. But Jason has to be with me. He puts everything up. I'm fucking useless. Just thanking someone. Yeah, I'll put that up, Barry. I'll put it up, mate. What I filmed. And Mr. B. That was my missus who wanted to ask a question flat out. My biggest problem is adults who believe in Father Christmas. All right, so yeah. I hope she listens to me. Well, when I try to explain about the flat earthers and what they believe in, which is ridiculous, honestly. You've only got to look at the shuttles and the filming of even when they landed on the moon. That's another conspiracy theory. When they filmed it, Earth, it was all rounds and things. Ali, good evening, Ali. And Ali says, so we have 905 chances to see Slot next season at Anfield as well, it seems. I don't understand. 905 chances. Joe. Joe. I've got something for you, sweetheart. You ready? Joe, I've got you these. I hope you're still looking. So send someone down if they're going over to see you. Look. The Lost Tribes of Everton. And it's not after yesterday. Both good, they are. I've got you them, sweetheart. For you. So, if anyone's going over to see you, members of your family, I'll give you giving me address. They can come down, see me, have a cup of tea, and I'll give them so they can bring them over to you. I'm not fucking posting them. Thanks, Joe. Grace, Joe. She lives in LA, Joe. Yeah, there's a fella for you there, Dennis Paparak. He lives in Tampa. You'll be all right down there with alligators and Dennis, Joe. Frank, I sent you a link to the Titanic drone pic. Yeah, I'll have a look at it. And hopefully I'll be able to show it not now, on the show, when I'll be doing something. This week I'll be doing it. Like the conspiracy theories and mad things like that. And Ali says, I get Ten Hag vibe when he was winning at last few games and the fourth. And they gave him more chance. Oh, I see. I'm sorry there, Ali. Misunderstood. Saved by the bell, to be honest. I can't see Liverpool under Slot in another CL or no. He's. I hope you don't mind me swearing. He's fucked everything up. He's going. I do know that. Please believe it. He's gone. He's fucking gone. I was told by one of the great sources. Sorry, Franco, being a mod at Leo. I keep forgetting to use caps. They're not allowed. They're not allowed. Don't worry, Ali. Don't worry, mate. I can never get that, Leo, to be honest. See other bloody pods. And Mr. B, yes, she thinks you're a different class, Frank. Is that your missus? Tell her when I get me new tooth, she'll think, oh, look at him now. Thanks, Mrs. Big. Thank you, Mrs. Big. And Brian says, apart from the BBC series Titanic sinks tonight, it's brilliant, mate. They made a film in 1957. What was it called? Forget what it was called. About the Titanic. And it was really good. Joe. Don't have to thank me, Joe, for you, sweetheart. So let me know if you're there, if any of your brother or your sister's going over to see you and all the mad kids. I'll just, they just come down and get them because I know you want them. All right, sweetheart. I'll send you the message anyway with my address and phone number. They can phone me. They can just phone me. Is Rodney Street where Thurston Hall, yes, created the first X-rays? Right? Yes, but yeah, on my DVD, I actually pressed the original first thing to give an X-ray. It's great, though. Thurston Holland. And his gravestone was vandalised. And me and the Baron who lived there, because he was the Hungarian consul, became great friends with him. And we set up a little fund, you know, and to get his gravestone fixed. Thurston Holland. And we did. I don't know why these pricks go around vandalising gravestones. Joe, I have palm trees in common. Joe and I have palm trees in common. Yeah, you do, don't you? California. LA. There you go, Dennis. Our lovely little Lauren's with us. Aye, Frankie. Aye. I sent you an email, by the way, Lauren. I hope you got it. Let me know if you got it. And Mr. B. Isn't the conspiracy surrounding the Titanic that the sinking was planned to create a Federal Reserve, as there was 3 men on board with a big bank balances who were opposed to it? I'm not going to mention that. There was more to it than that. And I mean more to it. And that DVD there, it's incredible. But they show real footage, by the way. What had happened and what had happened again. And Zenna says, Frank was the film, and that's it. Night to Remember. 1958, yeah. That's it. Get in there, Zennis. Night to Remember. Cracking film. Cracking little film it was. And Barry says, geez, Frank, we have to go to the sorting office for our mail. They are crap. And yet the price of stamps are increasing. Yeah. Do you know what? My intercom went today. I was just doing something. And I thought, fucking hell. And I was having a sandwich as well. I went and I get hobbles over to the intercom. And I went, yes. He said, I've got a parcel for you. I said, what's the name? Oh, just give me the number. He couldn't give me the name. And he couldn't give me the number. And I would guess what I said to him, 2 words. The spirit of LFC fans. Hi, Frank and chat. How are you? Also, how was your family? Blessings and greetings to all around the world. All right, rest in peace, Jota and Manager. Oh, yeah, Manager. I forgot that he was our goalkeeper. And it's only going back a few years ago as well. Hillsborough anniversary. I'm sorry for any issues caused. No, you're not. No. I'm a survivor of Hillsborough. The lovely little Laura. Laura, and thank you for your email, Frankie. I saw it. Good girl, Laura. Don't forget what I put in it. I mean that, you know. I bet you people are here to be getting, wonder what he said to me. It's all right. It's all about education and exams and things like that. That's all. For our little Lord. And the spirits, I hope everyone is okay after the incident last summer celebrating the winning Premier League. I'm sorry about everything. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, don't be worrying about that, fella. Don't be worrying about that. That's all sorted anyway. That's all sorted about that incident. A night to remember, says the poet. And Mr. Big respect, Frank. The missus wanted your opinion. Very knowledgeable, mate. It's only... I tell you what, Mr. B. I'll tell you what I'll do with you. And the flat earth and that, as I tried to explain. If you ever want that, let me know. Let me know. Kenneth Moore again. Yeah, great actor, him. I sort of see him in the other day. Seen him in something. He can play any part. He can play comedy. He can play, dramatic. Kenneth Moore. Oh, what was it? I've seen him in. I tell you what, he's brilliant in. He brings humour to it. It's a great book, actually. You know that films are different from the books and that. But this is like to it. And watch a film. He's in the 39 Steps. He's brilliant in it. But I didn't watch that the other day. What did I watch? It was good. It was one of his first films. Forget the title of it. Oh, I'll tell you what it was. True story. I'll tell you what it was. He got it on YouTube. When I seen who was in it, David Niven and Kenneth Moore. Like, Kenneth Moore wasn't the big star in it, but he was, he was in it, one of the co-stars. Oh, get the title. I had the title there a minute ago. Oh, what's that? I'm hopeless, aren't I? Oh, fucking hell. The title was it was to bring a cow from the Channel Islands. I forget what it was called. If it comes to me, I'll let you know. But it was a cracking film, true story. Tell you who else was in it, and she was brilliant. Glynis Jones. It was really good. It was when the Germolines got onto into the Channel Islands, took over, occupied. People don't realise that they actually occupied the British Isles. Part of the British Isles, the Germans. Oh, Dennis is leaving us. I have a couple of loose ends to try or finish the workday. Have a great night all until next time. Thank you, Dennis. Great fella, Dennis. You want to, if you're in Liverpool, you're a Scouser. You get all the details when he's appearing at the Cavern. Be great to see him, And they're a good band. The Incurables, they're at the pub, Cavern Pub, and the Cavern Club. And the spirit of LFC fans. Liverpool people are wonderful and welcoming. You'll never walk alone. Thank you. Thank you so much, spirit of LFC fans. Thank you. Can you press the like, please? Not only press the like, but also subscribe, just to get my algorithm out there. Thank you so much. Oh, Phil. Serás, Ellis? Phil. Now, Frank, is that your Robert Redford look from The Sting? Yeah. And the image of him, aren't he? Great film, that. He was a great fella, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you who he was madly in love with, and she was with him. And you can see the chemistry. He did a few films over the years. And you see just look at the eyes. It's like, I was going to do it with Anthony, but I haven't heard from him. He must be very busy, and just leave him now. I was going to do like a program about stars and co-stars and whatever. And you see the intensity of them. And you see the likes of Robert Redford and his co-star, and the intensity. Amazing. And it was just like the first time Vivian Leigh and Olivier were together. And there's a film where you see her just looking at him. And this is in the 30s, by the way, this particular film. and the intensity, you could see it in her eyes. And when she died, she was only, what, 53, 4, something like that, something ridiculous. And when she died, she was calling out Olivier's name. She's the only man she ever loved. So sad. I was going to do a program on that, because I'm a big romantic fella. And Robert Redford and this other one, try and guess who it was. Robert Redford and this, and they loved each other deeply. But they weren't for these like infidelity people. And Cedric, Frank comes back with Klopp teeth. No stopping him now. When I went to the dentist, I think I told you, she's only a young girl, Asian girl she is. And I was talking, she's really nice, you know what I mean, and talking and trying to put me at ease, especially when she had the needle that big, to stick in me. No, she didn't. Anyway, she had beautiful teeth. And I said to her, I love your teeth. She said, thank you. I said, did you go to Turkey for them? She should have seen the look she gave. Should have seen the look she gave me. I said, no, it's only Liverpool humour. Because her assistant, this young girl, smashing young girl, she just laughed. She just laughed when I said it. She didn't, like this girl, she just didn't get it. Then she laughed. She said, it was rather a surprise what you said. I bet she did as well. Everyone fucking laughing there. Look at it. Said. And the spirit of LFC fan says, I've liked and subscribed. Thank you. Thank you. David Owens. Oh, David. This fella here, honestly, one of the best researchers. He's an archivist. This fella, David Owens. What he doesn't know. Kenneth Moore played Douglas Bader, the legless RAF fighter. I'm just laughing, when the legless. He's always drunk. The legless RAF fighter, Ace World War II, Reach for the Sky. Yeah, that's on YouTube, isn't it? On YouTube. Douglas Bader, yeah. And he escaped, didn't he? He actually, or did he? No, he tried to escape, didn't he? And he tried to escape, David. And he took his legs away, didn't he? Bader. And Ali says, spirit of the LFC fans, welcome. That's nice. Darryl. Frankie boy. Darryl says, wish you could do streams with you, Frank. I'm always available. Can't get anyone on now, unfortunately, Darryl. I know that, mate. Barry says, seen it many times, Frank. Robert Powell, Robert Donut, and Kenneth Moore, Rupert Perry or something. Yeah, Rupert. Yeah, he's got a double-barrel name. Yeah, I forget his name. But yeah, that was for a BBC thing, that. Rupert Perry Graves or something. Yeah, Barry. Good. And Barry says, The 39 Steps was the first book I read at school, Frank. Go away. Was it? John Buchan. It's great. It's great. I'll do a thing on books, actually. I'll do a programme on books if you're interested. Because there's some great one. I love literature, as you know. But modern books, see, when you look back, you've only got to look at Shakespeare and what he said. Hell is empty. All the devils are here. That applies today. There's loads of things that have been said in literature that applies today. That's why I like doing the book. Are you laughing at me there, Joe? Is that because of what I said to the dentist? To get your teeth in turkey? Joe, look at me tooth. Fell out. Never fell out. Our Francine, you know, my daughter, she got me a chunky Kit Kat, because I liked them, you know, with a cup of tea, and it was dead hard, you know. And I thought I'd leave it for a while, but I never anyway. So having a cup of tea, and I took a bite, and just went, dink, tooth came up. And it's a proper tooth, you know what I mean? It's still got the root in it. Still got the root in it. Took the root out. Never took the root out. Just broke off from the root. And the part. Hell, who's this young Peaky Blinder for? On our Frank's podcast? What's going on? No, I got a shower and it just came right out, and my head was all over the place, and I looked up Booker, to be honest. That's why I've got it on. I'll send you my number, Frank. We can chat again. Okay. All right, Daryl. That's nice. And Phil says, that Douglas Bader was not liked in the prison camp after they took his legs. He was always... that was a bump joke, that, though. They should never have allowed him to take to a plane again, though. That was wrong. He had no legs. And Darryl says, if Liverpool get rid of Jones and keep McAllister, I'll be fuming. No, even if they kept McAllister, and I understand what you're saying, even if they got rid of McAllister and they got rid of Jones, I'm fuming now, even for the suggestion to get rid of Jones. We need a scouser in the team. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. God blimey. And Barry says, Darryl, likewise, mate. No, we can't get rid of Jones, Curtis Jones. I thought he was one of our men of the matches yesterday. Well, I give him it anyway, man of the match. As I said before, just watch it again if you've got LFC TV, the match. I watched it today. Watched it carefully because we're doing the podcast, you know, the watch along. I'm looking at the screen and then I'm looking at you and the comments and I have to, you know, I'm mentioning them. So I watched it again to see what I missed out on. And the unfortunate thing is, how can I put this? So I was missing things out. And this lads went through it, Dewsbury Hall or some fucking one. And it was 1-1. And if we would have scored, that was the game would have changed because it was 1-1 at the time and Jones just came away with it. Brilliant the way it was. You know, there was a little melee there. Even Konate was there as well. But the way Jones got the ball, fantastic, and came away with it. Jones is a great player. And he doesn't get the credit. And even one of the lads on here, PP, I think his name is, he was saying he's crap. And Phil says, McAllister can't run. Was he always like that? No, he was. He was one of our players of the season last season, if you remember, Phil. He was incredible. And all of a sudden, look at that. Well, they're not the fucking training with tennis balls, aren't they? Tennis balls and medicine balls. And stretchy things, them big elastic bands. What the fuck is that all about? What does that say? And Darryl says he was our best player by a mile, Frank Jones. Yes. I think the lads who said, you know, yesterday after coming on and saying he wanted them gone and, you know, nice lads. That just says its opinions. Well, he got slated for it, didn't he? PP. You know, he wasn't anything nasty. It was only like, well, what game was he watching? Trying to say that he was doing the Clough things, but he did do the Clough things. Not the Clough, Cruyff. Johan Cruyff. You know, the Cruyff things. And never got caught out with them. Got away with it. He said he could get caught out, though. Fucking give up. And Ali, Maka is good, but people can't understand that. It's tactics. Maka is useless. Maka is a playmaker. He needs to build in our tactic now. Maka is kind of a helper for others. Now, don't forget that Ali is Romanian. If Slaughter's still in charge somewhere, Jones is gone, I think. I hope he's not. No, Mr. B. No. That's why he hasn't a clue about Scouse mentality. He hasn't a fucking clue because he doesn't live in the city. All that prick does is go with the team up to the ground. That's it. And stands on the touchline with his hands in his pockets, getting his nice ballsy head either reins on or tanned. And Red Repat says, Joan plays out of his skin yesterday. He's not a right back, but he gave it us all. Thank you. He gave us all. Yes, and he's not. This is what I was trying to say to PP. He's not a right back. I think he must have been subscribed. As I've Jones as a back, right back. He looks brilliant there, to be honest, says Darryl. Repat. It's not his position and puts too much stress on the centre-backs. Darryl, mate. That's right. That's why Canate was, Canate was covering for him. Good shout, that, Repat. Phil. Salah was great. Yes, Phil. He was. Scored a great goal. And Mr. B, Jones does not have the legs for a right back. Likes too many touches. Like Slobbo. We need a fucking right back. You know, I always remember, he goes on about fucking injuries, this slot. He just goes on about, oh, we're unlucky, you know. Fuck off. Do you remember when we had that Reece Williams and Nat Phillips playing centre fucking half? Could you imagine him with them? When we had, and I mean bad injuries with the egg. And then we had Fabinho and we had the other fella, Henderson, playing centre-backs as well. Does anybody remember that? Because of our injuries. Could you imagine fucking the Sloop man with those type of injuries? Fucking useless. Darryl says, Repat, if we are desperate for a right back with injuries, Jones is good there. Well, in other words, he's a good substitute for it. But we don't need the likes of our engine and midfield playing there. That's why he's put Jones there. He doesn't like Jones. He doesn't want to fucking play him. That's why he threw him at right back. Macker at Brighton was box to box. Yes, Mr. B, he was. So you've got to see the tactics, mate. No, we all fucking see that. I've just got to answer this. Please. Sorry about that. Very good friends of mine sent me a message. Not about football or anything. Lovely lady. Great friend. And the Pat says, yes, if desperate, mate. But fair's fair. Put a midfield over. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Good shout. Great shout, in fact. And the polar bear says, who was the weird PP guy trying to frame Curtis yesterday? I know. Nitpicking of the highest order. Meanwhile, refusing to say slot out. Yes. Yes. Get in there, polar bear. Mr. B. But under this nicotine stain, he's lost Macca. Macca was brilliant last season for us. See, look, I'm not being funny. Look at the season he had with Klopp. With Klopp, when they were gelling. They were only gelling that season, and they gelled. Then the last season under Klopp, he was fucking unbelievable. Then the first few games of last season, you know, when we still had the Klopp mentality, which we got that massive cushion, and then we went to, then he was changing fucking scheme, yeah, everything, you know, tactics, everything he was changing. Then he just started to go downhill, and he fucking gone downhill since. Because there's no trainer. It's fucking shocking. McAllister gets stuck in. Look what he did yesterday. Anyway, but that's another thing, isn't it? Mr. B says, report. All our players' fitness has been flat there. Something going on at the coaching. Outrun every game this season. Yes. Yes. And Mr. B, bang on report, lads. And Josephine, handsome man, especially so, with that hat. I'm single, but you're already. No. Our Joe, I'm telling you now, Joe Whittaker there. She used to live around Anfield as a kid, little mad kid, little girl, running around, minding cars, but you know, for Anfield, she's a big kid. And then, you know, then she goes over. She lost her mother when she was young, and she had to look after the siblings. Then when the siblings grew up, she was the eldest. She got off then, you know, when they were all right, you know, and whatever. She went to the States and made a hell of a success of a career for herself. She's a successful woman. A very successful woman is our Joe. She's even got her own yacht. Charters it out to go deep sea fishing for those manta rays and sharks and stingrays and everything. No cods there, though. Can't get cod and chips there. And Ali says Jones is a similar player to Macca for sure. His position is not a right back. He's a midfielder. He's a midfielder. And Phil says, I like Nat Phillips. He got stuck in. He did. He did. He did. You're right there, Phil. And the Pat. Anyone got an opinion on the Anfield? They were on the verge of calling Slot a legend of the club earlier. Yeah, of course they are. The phony. The fucking lot of them. They're phony, every one of them. I know one of them who's all right, but, you know, he won't have a fucking go at slot. So I just fucked them off, me. You know, look, I'm a Liverpool fan. I have been for many years. I see the rights and wrongs of the club. I was seeing the rights and wrongs of the club. I was supporting them when we were doing nothing, especially in the noughties. I was absolutely delighted in the 70s when, you know, Paisley brought this squad together after the Shanks left. And he brought the squad together after we won the Cup in 74. And what did he do? He brought us the European Cup 3 times. 3. Anyway, then Fagan. Then we had the noughties, didn't we, the 90s, which was dreadful. We had the Spice Boys era. Great players as well, absolutely great players. Then we had Houllier. He won us a few trophies, great. Then we had Rafa, one of the greatest tacticians. If he had the team today, if he came in as interim, you'd see a different Liverpool, you know. He's one of the greatest tacticians. Even the Chelsea fans said that. Remember when he went to Chelsea and they sacked him because the Chelsea fans didn't want to scout it? Well, you know, they said he was a scouser. And anyway, he went and he said, they said he was a great tactician. And we've always said that. An unbelievable coach. And as I said, if he was here at Liverpool today, telling you now, we'd do well. And Mr. B says 3 to 4 years ago, it was a testing time for Klopp, and he got us out. Proper managers, as proper managers do. Yes. Well said, Frank, lad. That wasn't about what I've just said there about Rafa. I don't know what it was about. It's the Anfield Roar. All right, Frankie. And the mighty Reds been nursing a hangover all day. Me and Mrs. Roar got well after the derby. Say it as it is, Roar. Fully, though. Fully. That's lovely. You're all fucking mad, you know that, don't you? And the past says, watch salute with our club is like watching a fella eating a Subway and all the meat falling out of because he's holding it the wrong way. But he's saying it doesn't taste that good. And you just want to choke. You just want to choke. Slam. Brilliant analogy. The Subway and all the meat out. I remember being in Amsterdam one winter, fucking freezing. Even the dam, you know, the canals icing up. And anyway, we used to go. It was only there about how long? A week, I think. Amsterdam. Anyway, we used to go to these places and get something to eat. We always got a kebab or something. Always got a kebab. And we had this, the chili sauce. Oh, fucking great. But that warmed us up. And when I got back to Liverpool, going out, I'll take a look at a kebab. And I went, yeah, give me all that, all this chili. Oh, fucking hell, it blew me head off. I blew my head off. My tongue was melting. Oh, God. All the chili. I haven't had chili since. Through that. Oh, my head was coming off. That's one thing, you know, freezing and coming home like when it's a lot milder. And that Denzel Dumfries, although 28ish, was mooted to be linked, says Barry. Denzel Dumfries. They won't get him. He's too old. The pack. Nice one, Joe, says Phil. And as Joe says, no cod and chips, but lots of sunshine. You like Dennis Paparak? So all he goes on about his sunshine. I wonder, like, can you smuggle slot out of Liverpool? Well, Manchester, because he fucking lives there. And bring him deep sea driving. Tell him to put a snorkel on and leave him there. Big up, Ross, says the T. And the CW says, unfair rap, fucking garbage. Especially people who want, you know, as I said, I'm just an ordinary Liverpool supporter. I'm an ordinary Liverpool supporter. And I've supported them for many years. And as I said, I've seen the right from the wrongs. And this fella is a wrong 'un. I've never known a manager, I'm telling you now, a manager or fucking coach, whatever the prick is, come to Liverpool and not even live in the city. Lives in Manchester. Nothing against Manchester or the people, but he lives there. Why can't he fucking live? I'm so annoyed. I'd love to fucking see him face to face. The ballsy prick. I would. I'd fucking tell him. The fuck are you? Fucking horrible. Klopp was the normal one. Loved him from the comments on. From that comments on. Far from normal. He was a great man. Says Phil. Okay, now. Phillips and Williams bloodied heads iconic. Yes, yeah. Yeah. I like that. Like that comment. You're right, Cedric. We've conquered all the derbies. We're never going to. We've conquered all the derbies. We're never going to stop. And Paul Milligan. Hiya, Paul. Never walk alone. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Paul Milligan. And Josephine said, how about Gerrard for manager? He's going to become an assistant. Joe. Honestly, he's going to become assistant. He's going to be with us. Steven Gerrard, Joe. And Paul Milligan says, nice that, Frank. Rafa the Gaffer. Yes, Rafa the Gaffer. Rafa the Gaffer. and the polar bear. Is Isak going to be another Andy Carroll? No, I don't think so. Look, I wouldn't like to say he is, but I think he's too talented for that. I really do. And this prick put Slot in, not a Slot, Isak in, having just come back from a broken leg. And he hasn't played most of the season. Remember when he first came and the sloop man said, he's not up to speed, so we can't play him. I can't play him. What did that fucking mean? He's not up to speed. And now he's playing them after just coming back from a broken leg and being out most of the season. Do you see how hypocritical he is? He's a phony. He hasn't a clue. You tell him. Says Joe. And Barry says, Frank sent you something on WhatsApp. So funny and typically quick-witted by our fans. I'll have a look at it. Can't do it now. Ben Mason. Hiya, Ben. Hope you're doing good, Frank. Thank you, Ben. Hope you're the same. But all we're not like, we're just giving the old slop boy the lot. Rapat. I think Verts will be great, just like Aquila. Aquilani, remember him? Alberto. Hey, Alberto. Come stai? Oh. I always remember he was up at Burnley. It was Burnley, right? And anyway, Aquilani was playing. And he had the ball. If any of you can remember this, it was on the telly and that, And if any of you can remember, and anyway, Aquilani had the ball and he slipped because it was a bit like, whatever, rainy and damp. And he slipped. But as he slipped, all their crowds went, hey, because he slipped. But the ball went right through to Gerrard, and Gerrard just took it on and scored. It was not half funny. That was what you call real karma. If anybody remembers that. So funny. Look at the offer, Frank, look, of Joe. Thanks, Joe. And Phil says, Stepen Bajcetic, look promising. But he's been out for 2 years. He's injury prone. He went to Las Palmas, didn't he? And when he went to Las Palmas, the unfortunate thing was he got injured there. Young Bajcetic. And Barry says, the score is 1-1, tensions are high, then up pops the heads of the Veg. Oh, Everton, we're all laughing at you. And Edward says, I remember the hype around Aquilani. He was meant to be good. Yeah. Italian players didn't suit us, did they? Remember Barini? And someone said to me, why does he fucking keep doing that if he scores? I said, well, that's a Roman soldier's thing for victory. Biting on the sword after a battle. When I told this lad, you know, he said, fuck off. That was, didn't believe me. So kind of, it was so funny. Fuck off. He just didn't believe me. And Barry says, that's the WhatsApp flank with the chain. Let's see. I think I played this last night, you know. I played it last night. I did, Barry. And by polar bear. Remember Balotelli, Big Bad Mario? I always remember I was at the game. I forget who it was against. And we got a penalty. And I always remember Jordan Henderson holding the ball like that. And he was going to give it to, I forget who he was going to give it to, you know, to take the penalty. And Big Bad Mario went over and just took it off him. And I always remember Sturridge, but I seen the Sturridge thing on the telly, you know, when you watch the headline, the highlights. And well, he takes the ball off him, and Henderson was just standing there like. And Sturridge, this is like on the telly when I watched the highlights, and Sturridge is shouting out, "Take it fucking off him!" You know, Tim Henderson, go and take it off him. Henderson didn't know. That was Big Bad Mario. MBE, and I was your father. So yes, ladies and gents, I'm going to finish now, if you don't mind. But before I go, let me know if you want. I'm not going to do football all week, you know what I mean? I was going to do it tomorrow night. Do you want me to do a conspiracy theory tomorrow? I've got a couple planned up. Let me know now. Just say yes or no. That's all. I'll do a conspiracy theory. Under a Pat says, why is it that we don't know Gapco personally? Hang on a minute, fucking hell. Why is it that we don't know Gapco personally, but when you look at him, you just know he's a grass in the... Hang on, fucking hell, I've got to go down. Just look at him, you know that he's a grass and he collects poke. Says to the pal. Yeah, I'll watch, says Edward. And then, even in Frank, Virgil's karmic winner was glorious. Conspiracy tomorrow. Yes, please. Radio's leaving. Bye-bye. And thanks for the laugh. Enjoy your day, Joe, in the sunshine. Enjoy your night out with your mates. She's got lovely mates, you know. They're all, you know, those like big hair and big white teeth, blondes. her friends. You know, all them things. Do you know what? She went outside. They were in a restaurant, so she went outside for some fresh air. And there was a couple of lads, 3 or 4 lads just standing there. They were having a cigarette or something. And there was a drive-by shooting, and one of them was killed. Could have easily got it. As our job. But she's a scouser. She's a scouser. Yes, says Phil, yeah. Yes, says Joe. And the polar bear says, I'm just a bear, don't know if my foot counts. Just a bear. That's a cracker, the Pat. Got you a few times tonight, Frank. Glad to see you. Smile, boss. Would you look at that? Jesus. Wait till you see me with my new suit next month. I'll be like, you'll be sick of me. And let's see. Yeah. Oh, mate, Steve Mulholland. Isak, not fully fit. Hugo injured. Chiesa still not playing. Yeah, terrible state. Terrible state. Shocking. And Joe, welcome to LA. And all the girls with the big hair, big smiley teeth, big tans, gorgeous dresses, sunglasses. That's the little click. Is our Joe. Not like us Scousers, though, are they? Hey. I'll have to go. Thanks, Frank, says Cedric. Yes to the conspiracy. Mix it up with sleep. Mix it up. Sleep well. Thank you, Cedric. Thank you, mate. And on that wonderful note, I'll leave you all. Thanks so much, people. I really appreciate you keeping me company as usual. I always say that, don't I? And I'll see you on the conspiracy theories tomorrow. I've got a couple, actually. What's next? I just fucking told you. See, do you know what he does? His wife says, go make a cup of tea, Barry. And he goes, oh, all right. And misses what I've said. And comes back and says, what's next, Frank? Don't tell him, people. I'll just see you tomorrow night, Barry. So don't tell him. I'm mean, aren't I? Anyway, I'm going to leave you and I'll see you tomorrow. Just want to say a great big thank you to Gap Painting Services, my wonderful people who sponsor the Frank Carlyle show. Don't forget, if you know elderly, if you know some people, please tell them to get hold of Gap and NHS workers, because NHS workers and elderly get special discounts. These are brilliant, proved painters and decorators, no cowboys. They're fully insured and fully time served. Gap Painting Services, who sponsor the Frank Carlyle show. And try and get onto these as well. These, if you want some good stuff, at Scarf or a Badge. And there's the at scarforabadge.com. Just go on their site, please, and see what the quality is and the lovely people. The lovely, lovely people, Michael and Michelle Deal. They look after you. And Barry said, "You said it right after I asked." I said, "What after it?" He said, oh, that's fucking funny, that. Fucking hell, where am I? I'm just a bear. My vote. I don't know if my vote counts. Ah, fantastic. He's a funny. Right. I'll be leaving it, honestly. Bipolar, the bear, polar bear. Have you ever heard of a polar bear with bipolar? I went into it. I think I told about the polar bear. Went into it, a museum. Have you seen the size of those fucking things? Those polar bears? They had one stuffed, like, obviously, they didn't have a fucking big black polar bear running around the fucking place. But you should have seen the size of this fucking thing. Standing up like that. Fucking huge. You wouldn't survive one of them. They come after you. This chat is hilarious, says the polar bear. And poor Milligan. I must admit, I was waiting for it to sell out. Oh, the bears, yes. It's mad, isn't it? This is what we expect now. This is what we expect, isn't it? You can't really celebrate goals. That lad who scored against us and got it disallowed, that half funny, that. Doing all that with the badge, and I'm going like that. And the next you see him with his fucking shirt over it, wouldn't feel a right swat, wouldn't you? Making a fool of himself. That was funny, that. Oh, we haven't seen the Toffee lad tonight, have we? He hasn't been on. And Phil, to the polar bear, hilarious. Thanks, Frank and all. Good night. Good night, Phil. Thank you. Night, Frank and Chatters, says the TW. And Barry says, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. So I'll see you at 7. Thank you so much. And do a couple of them, and then you can talk about whatever you want. We'll have a chat. Thanks very much, people. Love you all. Good night, everyone. Good night. 7 o'clock tomorrow.
I'm just a boy.